Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Elena's Escape. We're here in the studio, and I am thrilled to introduce you to Lou Fabri.
That's right, Lou Fabri.
Lou. So we've been talking about a series. Or I've been talking about it on some of the social posts about a new series I've been working on with a photographer, and I'm thrilled that we finally put this together. We finished the first 9 pieces, and Lou is here. So um, just tell us maybe a little bit about your background, what you do, what inspires you in your creativity and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And where you're from,
Where?
because I know we're all going to hear your Southern accent. So
Yeah. I'm from the South, but much more South than the US. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I've been in North Carolina for 3 years now. And one of the things I did when I first arrived here was have a look at where I could do drawing as part of my art, or where I could do some photography. And the other was to go to the state farmers market. And I looked at the food and I thought, all right, I can cook here and I can do my art. So life is going to be good. I mean, I was here for work, but if you don't have those other things, then how are you nurturing your soul and yourself? So they were really always important to me.
for sure.
Back in Australia, I guess I've been a photographer for about 7 or 8 years. I started off with in a group of photographers that was being trained by a particular photographer in his studio, and I learned a lot in that time frame. At the time when I started this was because my daughter was in sort of the final years of high school in Australia, and she was doing a media course, and so she wanted a camera, which she bought herself to her credit. And I said, hey, at the time, why don't I buy a similar camera so we can like swap lenses and you get a greater opportunity. And then the other thing we chose to do was to join a camera club. And so what happened was that we joined the camera club and we learned a little bit more about photography and stuff like that. Except then Dad got too competitive. So she's like,
Daughter didn't like that.
don't want to do this anymore, Dad. You can go on your own. So
Too funny.
so basically I just kept doing photography and that. And for probably first couple of years, it was always about, to me, I guess one of the things I always learned was, if photo doesn't have story, if it isn't visually appealing, then should you even really take the image? So it's something I always aspired to. And so Camera Club was good for that, because it helped me, sort of try to crystallize what is a good image, what's interesting. And I think we live in a society where we just have so much imagery thrown at us. I mean, we digest images by doing this, ad nauseum. And the problem is that we never stop and actually look at images. So I guess in those early years, I created this sort of formative sort of ambition to try to stop people and have them look at stuff. So if you saw an image, how do you get people to stop and actually look? And when they look, is there other things that they can see that helps them look more and then appreciate the image for what it is? So photography was a really good avenue for me to be able to do that as a medium. So I grew quite a lot, and then I joined this photography group who was very much more about performing arts and things like that and incorporating that in imagery. And one of the things at the time I got into was projection art. And so I had a project which was where I took artists' images and projected it back on them. So I've got this whole story of artists in art, basically, where I take the art that they draw and project it. And I guess so then that sort of has been something I've been continually developing with one particular artist. And that's sort of how I got to sort of really want to take, art form that's been painted on canvas or other things. And then all of a sudden project that back onto something, either a person or the artist or whatever, and really accentuate or create an additional dimension to the art. So
Which is a great lead into what we did.
yeah,
Because so for those who don't know it, Lou's studio is about 5 doors up from where mine is. And what he's describing is exactly how we sort of came together.
yeah,
And that was a great lead. So one day we were looking at his photography, which is sort of, I always say it's fashion photography, but I don't, is that fair to say?
oh look, I shoot anything that has a great image, and I'm very much about people.
People.
So if it's, you know, because to me, everything you look at has some level of beauty, and how do you capture that, accentuate it, and how do you get someone to pause and look at that and see what you see? So yeah, so and I guess I'm drawn to the human form, be it you know, male, female. You know, it doesn't really matter. It's about where's the beauty in the image, and that's just something I've always aspired to. So fashion is easy because, you know, you might take that beyond that and go to, say, um, you know, art nude or boudoir or even erotic. But if it's always about where's the great image, then that's sort of how I guess I identify myself.
And then, so, and on that note, he was in the studio one day and looking at my paintings, and we just connected. I don't know, you know, sometimes it just happens in your life where you just talk to someone and all of a sudden you feel like you're old friends for years. And we just connected, and he admired the work. And we both said, what if, based on your past experience, what if we project my paintings over your models? And that is this new series, which is behind us, which we're calling LaFabria. And basically, we're taking my paintings, projecting it onto Lou's models, then printing them onto canvas. And then that gives me an opportunity to go back and paint on top of it.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Which is completely different to what I was doing, right? And that's why, to me, this is even beyond what I was doing, because, you know, to me it was always just taking the artist's image and projecting it, whereas this is actually about the hybrid of actually, you know, taking the original image and then creating an additional image with the person involved in that, and then beyond that, then you well, not only embellishing but amplifying that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, so it's been a really interesting journey, you know, and you know, what I might have as an idea, and then how you interpret. It's always been different.
Sure. And it's a true mixed media. And it's a true mixed media and artist collaboration, to the extent that when Lou projects and takes the photographs, I'm never in the studio to be a part of that. I wanted that to be his creative avenue, I guess. And then when I'm working on the paintings afterwards, he's never in the studio.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we have some, you know, give and take, which is important.
Yeah, we give each other a lot of shit, right?
True.
That's good.
But it's worked out really well. And these pieces, they're going to be one of a kind. So each piece is a true original mixed media. We'll be able to print them in any size. And sometimes they're true, extremely true to the original painting, but more often than not, they're morphed and they become sort of what I'm feeling as I'm painting them, and feeding off of Lou's composition, which is a kick. So these pieces are on display now in the studio. They're going to be on display for the first Friday, and you'll be here next Friday.
Yeah,
That's the 7th, from 6 to 8 here in the studio. And we're going to post these online as well. So when you see this video, you'll see the collection with the different sizes and the pricing. But I really dig them, and this guy is great to work with. So I hope you enjoyed that, getting to know a little bit about Lou, and we hope they come by, right? We'll have plenty of drinks.
Yeah,
right?
there'll be drinks and maybe a few jokes as well. But the art's here to see, and, you know, I think both James and I are really proud of where we're at and the journey that we've got to get here. And so it's been an evolution, and one that we really enjoy and proud to share. So yeah, come and see it if you can, or see it online. It would be great.
100%. All right. Thanks for visiting. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.